One of the hardest things about building software is starting with a blank page. So I did some massive updates to the project launcher. And one of those was actually building a template, starting from a template. So I put 43 templates inside the project launcher. So if you want to try to get started, everything from a CRM, sales KPI dashboard, invoice generator, client portal, project manager, 43 of them. And again, I'm going to continue to grow. My goal is to get them up to about 100 different templates. I'll keep adding them as we go on. But let's just start one here. I'm going to see how fast we can do it quick. Let's pick property management. So we're going to use this template. So the first thing we're going to do is start the new project with the architect. And already by picking the template, it fills out this intake form for the project launcher. So you can see there's 3 sections. Step 1 is the idea. It's already filled out right there. I'll put a company name. I'll do it for 120X AI. This will be an internal tool. The problem, you can see all these are filled out. Who we're going to use this app. This is going to be an internal app. I can add things to this, but again, I'm going to go with what the template came up with. And this third section is the details. Now, if there's source materials, other docs or data inputs and outputs or systems and tools that I want to use, I'm going to leave that blank and let the brainstorming with the architect kind of answer those questions. So I'm going to go with this template filled out. And down here at the bottom, there is this create architect workspace. So this is critical. It's going to actually create the project in the launcher. It's called property management. If I want to edit the project info, I can change the name. We'll call it 120X. And then we'll save that, save and regenerate. And essentially what it's doing is it created a folder schema for me that I can put onto my hard drive. And if you see right here, the first step is telling me to put this folder onto my computer. So I'm going to save the generated folder. I'm just going to put it on my computer. As you can see right here, I'm going to put this on my computer. It's going to ask me where I want to put it. I'm going to put it in my 120X folder, in my builds folder, and then I'm going to select it, and it's going to place it directly onto my hard drive. And we can look at it right here. If I open up my builds folder, you can see the property management folder is in here. It has all of the 120X architecture and schema and personalities in here. So you can do the architect builder method, which is critical to creating detailed software, disciplined software. So now that it's on my hard drive, now I'm going to connect my coding agent to that folder. And in Claude Code, run /architect. In Codex, it's 120X architect. I'm going to use Cursor, which is connected to my Claude Code. So Cursor is actually kind of fast. I'm just going to show this here. This is my Cursor window, my IDE. And I'm actually going to use the model Cursor Grok 4.5 high fast, which is nice. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that in this new agent that I'm going to do is connected to the folder that we just put onto our hard drive. We're going to go to the 120X builds, navigate there, and there's my property management folder I'm going to open up. And so now my agent is connected to that 120X architecture schema that the project launcher created. So to start my conversation, I'm going to use that command that was on there. I'm going to hit /architect. Now you're going to do this in Claude Code or Codex. It's going to recognize this Claude Code command. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to start acting like the architect. So it's reading all that folder schema that we put in there, that architect builder method. It's going to take on the personality of an architect. It's going to understand what we're trying to build, and it's going to brainstorm with me on where it is. So he's saying, I'm the architect for this. Let me blow it up a little more so you can see it. I'm the architect. Here's where we're at. You want to place that ties rental unit to a lease, rent history, maintenance story. Yep, because we're building a property management piece. There are 3 decisions. Who is the first user? What is the source of truth? How do units get in the system the first time? Answer these. Portfolio and first win. How work happens today, trust and boundaries, and so on and so forth. He says, if you want my recommendations before you answer, start with manager only, units, leases, rent status, expiration alerts. And again, for the sake of the demo, I'm going to take his recommendations. I'm just going to take his recommendations because they seem good, and I'm just doing a demo here for you guys. So I'm going to say, let's go with your recommendation. And he's going to go ahead and cook. Now, over here on the left, you can see that in the left sidebar, it says architect discussion. My technique, I like to rename it on where it is. This is the architect, like we said. And we're going to call this pack 001 because what the architect does is generates a detailed set of plans, which we call packs, right? Look, here's the direction we're taking. First useful version, 1 logged in manager owner, units with leases. How data gets in, start from your current spreadsheets, enter carefully or do one-time import. I think about this in 6 sprints: discovery, architecture, foundation, portfolio cure, rent and alerts, maintenance log, and portfolio picture. Before I write the pack, I need 3 facts I shouldn't invent. Rough size today, ballpark properties, 3 properties, 12 units, login, plain email password, sensitive stuff. Will this hold SSN? So I'm going to just answer these questions. Yeah, for the 3 questions, let's say we've got 4 properties and 20 units. Login will just be plain email password. And the sensitive stuff, no, we won't hold all the social security and bank details at all. So no sensitive stuff. This is just for a demo to show how fast we can get a minimal viable product. So I say generate the pack. And so again, if this was real, if I was making a real app, I would certainly be talking and brainstorming with it, but I'm just showing you that we'll go with his recommendations. Now, the architect does really well. It does better, I think, in Claude Code proper and probably in the best, and the same with Codex. They really takes on that personality of the architect. Less so in Cursor and Grok, but it's still good enough to go. But I like the speed of Cursor, and that's why I'm showing it here. So he's going to write the architect pack, and I'm going to pause this, and I'll let you know when it's done. Okay, he's done. He generated the pack, the full architect pack. Now, again, if you're new to this, you may be thinking, what is the architect pack? Well, if we look at the file folder system in here, you can look at it in all the IDEs can show your files. If I look at my planning, I look at architect packs over here. And then he wrote architect pack 001. This is the detailed set of plans and instructions that we're going to give the builder. So think about it like building a house. If you're building a house, you go to an architect for the architect to extract the dream and come up with detailed plans and drawings. These are the detailed plans and drawings that you're going to give your general contractor. In our case, these are the detailed instructions that we're going to give our builder to start the build. So there's no ambiguity. This is why I do it separate. Architect, builder. Your architect is going to keep you on track with the plan. Your builder is going to be specific and write code based on the specific set of instructions that you see right here. So out of the gate, you get this disciplined software engineering architecture that will never let context go awry. You won't get hallucinations. You won't get the errors. You'll get this disciplined historical knowledge and the structure that you need to create code like you're supposed to. Okay? So that is Architect Pack 001. He's created. So your architect always creates packs, and these packs will generate into sprints. We thought it would be 6 sprints. So he goes, here it is. It's locked in. After you're done, go talk to your builder, and he's going to apply this. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. In my project, property management here, I'm going to do a new agent. We're connected to the property management, and now all I do is hit /build, just like it says in the project launcher. If you look at the instructions in the project launcher, it says run the builder when the plan is ready, right? And so here you've got in Claude Code, you've got 2 instructions, /build, in Codex, it's $120x-builder. It does recognize both of these because I have both of my agents or my subscriptions, Claude Code and Codex, in there. So even though I'm using Grok inside a Cursor, it does recognize these commands, which is kind of nice. So let's go back to Cursor and let's see what he's saying. Okay, this is where I am as the builder, starting the session. There's no Git repo. That's fine. We'll do that one later. It says to apply the pack. Here it is, dry run complete. What do you want to do? I'm just going to approve the apply, and I'm going to say, hey, just apply the pack. And then he's basically writing and updating these folders now based on the instructions, right? Now, Sprint 001, oh, by the way, reminds me over here, I'm going to rename this up here, builder. So I'm talking to the builder. So he comes up with this. He says, hey, this is the plan that I'm going to do. CodeGate, awaiting your approval. Now, here's where the architect comes into play, right? He said, this is where the plan is. I'm going to copy this plan. I'm going to take it back to the architect. I'm going to say, hey, dude, here is the plan from the builder for our approval. I'm going to paste it, and we'll see what the architect says. I like doing this as a technique. In fact, I highly encourage this because it gets that second set of eyes and keeps the builder in check, right? And so he'll quickly examine his plan. And right there, he says, look, just approve it. The builder plan matches it. And now the builder is actually executing the plan. So this is where the code is actually getting written to the document. So when the builder completes, what he's going to do, he's going to tell us what he did. I'll get the second set of eyes and say, hey, did he do well to keep that discipline going? And then the builder is going to update all the documents, the state of where we're at with the program. And he's going to, most importantly, update an architect briefing. That will keep that communication loop back and forth between the architect and the builder. So that's good. You can already see that this first sprint is always about documentation and keeping everything in order. So there wasn't a lot of code written here. So he said it's already approved and the architect or the sprint is now closed. And then he's going to double check the work from the builder and making sure the briefing is done and seeing where we are at, right? He said, I'm still in the architect role. Here's where we're at. Discovery's done and written down. We know there's a small manager demo leases, sprint 001. Today we're sending out sprint 002 will end. So we're already thinking about how to go to the next pack. So the last plan mostly held, one small fix for next time. And then for sprint 002, he's recommending all of this to keep it light. And I'm going to answer these questions. I'm going to say, hey, for the choices, we'll do a Supabase project and then sign up for the demo, create an account from the login page. And I'll give you a Git repo here in a little bit. So if these sound right, which I think is good, so go ahead and generate the pack. I'm doing this quick just for the demo. But as you can see, I'm staying in the same conversation. Now, it's a good technique sometimes. You want to start a fresh conversation. You could have started a new agent and do a new /architect. But I got some context in here. We didn't do much in pack 1. So just to keep it straight in my head, my technique, I'm going to rename this pack 001 and 002. So this same architect conversation is creating pack 2 as well. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go to GitHub for free and set up a repo, a repository for this project. I'm going to make it private and we'll create the repository. And now I've got a URL right here for this test Git, and we'll go from there to push our code there when it's ready. So we'll go back to cursor and see where he's at. He's got architect pack 002 done. Again, just to look at the folder structure, just so that you know. He's written here. If you look over here on the right in the folder structure, architect pack 002 is now in there. And this is the detailed set of instructions for the second sprint that the builder's getting ready to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a new agent. I always do new conversations for new build. I'm going to hit /build. He's going to act as a builder and he's going to go read architect pack 002. I'm going to rename this chat right here, builder 00, or say sprint 002. This is my technique. You can name it whatever you want, but just to keep it straight in my head that I'm talking to the builder here on sprint 002. Still same conversation for architect pack 001 and 002, but I'm doing a new conversation for a new build because I just want that builder focused on that specific pack. Okay, while the builder was building the plan, I also went into Supabase on a free account and set up a project. So I have a database set up that's going to connect because this is a project manager database. So going back to cursor, he is done with his plan for sprint 2. Here it is. I'm going to copy this plan, go back to the architect and say same thing. Here is his plan and see what the architect says. And he says, approve stage A. And I'm just going to copy this and go back to the builder, tell him stage A is approved, and away he goes. Now, one thing I wanted to show while he's writing the code, you can go back to your mission control in the project launcher. You can connect your project folder. I'm going to go ahead and connect that property management folder that we were looking at, and this will give you where the project stands. This is for any project that you have in the project launcher. Again, we're in the current position. We're in the sprint 002, the app foundation. We've delivered one sprint. Forward plan, we've got 5 sprints to go. And what this means, this is discovery is done. Here's the outcome, the current focus, so on and so forth. When one is recorded, it will come up here. And it shows right here the delivery, what we said, possibly 6 sprints. You can look right here. We did 1. We're in the foundation right now. Core records is coming up. So you can always see where the big picture is, where you're at with your project. So it's something that you won't get in your IDE necessarily, but you will if you connect the project launcher. So it's going to explain to you in plain English where you're at with your current project. Okay, so let's go back to cursor. And he's still writing this code. So when he's done, I'll come back to you. Okay, he completed stage A, basically doing a basic shell saying that we've got a sandbox going. What you should see is a simple page titled property management. Gives me a hyperlink here. I go it, and there it is, just a real basic page that he said. So we know that it's working, and he's basically saying you should get a simple page. Signing comes next. It does. And then it's proof, and so we're good to go. I'm going to say approve stage B, and he'll start coding stage B. Okay, he's done with stage B. He gave me a login page now. Let's see if this works. this. We'll put a password in here, see if we can sign up. And we are. And so the sign-in page, the login page works. Next comes portfolio record. So that's good. So we'll back there. I'm going to say it works. All right, Sprint 2 is closed, and you can also verify that back here at the project launcher. It says that we're done with, checked off with Sprint 2. We're done there. The sprint is closed, and we're moving into Sprint 3, the portfolio core, and there's no other actions to take. So all we're going to do is I'm going to go into here and go back to the architect and say Sprint 2 is closed. But in fact, I think what I'm going to do here, just to show you, I'm going to start a new architect session. He's got a recommendation for Sprint 3. Just to show you, I don't have to continue that new conversation. I can start a new agent and do /architect, and we can pick up with fresh context, and he's going to pretty much say the same thing. He's going to read the same briefing articles, markdown documents. He's going to recommend Sprint 003. And you can say, as the architect, I'm going to rename this. You can kind of see, just so I can keep it straight in my head. Architect, and we're on pack 003 with this conversation, right? And so fresh context, he's already saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what I recommend. 3 decisions. How you moving through the app. My recommendation, keep these thin. I'm going to just say, hey, agree with your recommendations. Generate the pack. And so he's going to go write pack 003. Now over here in the mission briefing, while he's doing that, just you can also see in here your completed sprint history that you've done. Like this shows the foundation of Sprint 2. It's a completed sprint. All the handoff documents, the requirements, everything is there. You can view it within the mission planner here. You can also see the current phase, more technical status of where you're at. Sprint closed, take it back to your architect, which is what we just did since it's closed. And then you can also look at your project files here as well. You can look at any file that you can see in any IDE. You can see the architect packs there. You can see the sprints that were done and read them all in here in the project launcher. So just another feature of the project launcher, and mission control kind of emulates what's in the IDE, but also talks to you in plain English language where we're at. So let's go back to cursor. Okay, the pack is done from the architect. So I'm going to go ahead and start a builder conversation for the next one. New agent. We'll just do /build and let the builder take over. I'm going to rename this builder sprint 003. Copy that. Now I'm done with these. I'm going to go ahead and archive these just so it cleans up my space a little bit. And I'm just working in here because I can always go back again to my launcher, look at the completed sprint history, and read anything that we want there. So just trying to keep it clean, and I'm going to say apply. And just like we did in the last other sprint, he's telling me this is his plan, what he's going to do. I can certainly read through it and brief it. Again, I'm just going through this as fast as I can to keep the demo as short as can. Go back to the architect. Same thing. Here's the plan. He said it's approved. Go back to the builder. Approved. And away he goes. He executed stage A. He's telling me to paste everything in my Supabase, this SQL in here. So I've got a little instructions to do. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this instructions here that he has. I'm going to go into my Supabase project and go up into my database, my SQL editor. I'm going to paste his instructions right there. I'm going to run it. Run the query. Hopefully we'll get success, no rows returned. We did. So I'm going to go back to, and I'm going to say migration ran. So again, this is where the human involvement, he's telling me certain things to do. He told me to populate the database or create tables in my Supabase database, and I did. Okay, the builder is telling me stage B is ready. What I can try, I can run this, and then home properties, then load the sample portfolio. And I can go here. I can go to properties. I'm going to load a sample portfolio like he asked me to. And we've got 4 properties in here like he said. Again, very basic, but we're just starting out. And I'll say that looks good. Now Sprint 003 is closed. And so I'm going to go back to the architect. Tell him Sprint 3 is closed. And go back to my project launcher. So we're here on Sprint 3. That's done now. We're getting ready to go into Sprint 4. He's giving me recommendations. I'm going to go ahead and keep in the same conversations. We've got context in here. Seeing the circle down here, I've still got a little ways to go. So I'm going to go with the recommendations. Again, I'm trying to show you how fast I can go through this. Architect Pack 4 is ready. Planning Architect Packs 004 if you wanted to study this and see what's going on. just showing you again that as the project progresses, the architect packs are getting populated here by the architect, and down here with the sprints, the builder is creating the sprints. And each sprint has an acceptance criteria, a blueprint, a handoff, and a requirements document as well. So again, just showing you that all of this is getting organized, staying organized. And of course, you could view that in the project launcher as well with these files here. Same thing, same exact schema. You can view your architect packs, read them here, study them, see what's going on. But again, it's all organized for you. So again, the same drill. And then I think what I'll do from here, guys, I'll just speed up the video for you till I get to the last sprint to show you what the MVP looks like, because it's the same drill going back and forth, architect build, until you get to the place that you're happy. Okay, so we went through all 6 sprints and we've got a very basic and generic property management system. So we're not done here. We did this really fast in cursor using the grok, but we have the ability to look at our properties, alerts on late rents, expiring leases, and open issues with the leaky sink. So very basic and generic, obviously. So I'm going to do one last thing to get it to that minimal viable product that I want. I'm actually going to go into Claude Code, and let's go into Claude Code and let's use Fable 5. Let's burn up some of them tokens right there and just see. And I'm going to connect to that folder. I'm going to paste a prompt in here. Basically, I'm going to help me take this generic build that we have right here. I'm going to take a picture of the dashboard. And basically, I'm going to say, hey, use some of the plugins, the Claude plugins, to help me get this into a modern property management UI dashboard. And let's just see how he does. All right, about 25 minutes it took that, and then redesigned the whole UI. Let's see how it did. So we got it running on our local dev server. There's the sign-in page. And let's take a look at the dashboard. Not bad. It looks a lot better than the generic black and white that we had earlier. And so we've got the dashboard, all the properties, how many's occupied, the collections. I'm going to the properties. Here's all the properties that we have in here. Click on an individual property. See all the units there, the garage. So we got 4 units there. All the details, needs attention, rents unpaid. Really good maintenance. Sink is leaking. We could mark that as closed. Yeah, so we got our open issues, any alerts, all the late rent. Boy, we got a lot of late renters. Expiring leases, so on and so forth. So there you go, guys. 22 minutes to get the UI done from that black and white. And then I'm still not happy with the fonts and stuff like that, but there you go. It's an hour and 15 minutes is what I took from when I started this video recording and to get to this point. And it's a fairly functional property management system. So again, it's attached to a database. The only thing I didn't show you was committing this to GitHub. Again, I showed you how I created a GitHub. Usually between each sprint, I tell it, the coding agent, to commit the code to GitHub just so it's saved. But then this was for a demo. Again, an hour and 15 minutes. And this is what we have right now. So again, this is just a baseline, and we can just tweak it from here and keep it improving it. But it just shows you that the architect builder method, and using this project launcher, and we went through those 6 sprints. We have all our projects in here. You start in here. And the reason why you start in here is because, just like on this property management here, it gives you this folder, right? The intake form that you get into here allows you to create a folder, put it on your computer, and it's got that architect builder method in it. So it gets that discipline, so that if you look at the folder structure, and if you look down here at the project files, you got all this organization. And most importantly, in this planning, you got all the architect packs that we did. You got all the discipline. You got all the sprints that we did, that each one did. And then all the decisions that were made throughout, right? All the information about what this product is all about, file inventory, everything is here. The intake, what we did of the intake. This was what we took in from the project launcher. These are the questions that were answered or still opened, the risks that are involved, the roadmap, that we had, the initial roadmap for the MVP, the state, where we're at, the current state, the status. It's just amazing. And the overall agents.md, all this organization and structure so that you could hand it off to another coding agent, to another human being, and you can pretty much code anything. If you can think about it, you can create it. And I know this is basic, but just an hour and a half, we got a basic property management app that you could use and you could improve. Think about if you spent a week or a month on this and how cool you could get this thing. It could emulate any property management software that you have out there. So that's why we have the property project manager, project launcher. Again, we got these templates in here that get you started. You skipping the brainstorming, you can just go right into it. Hour and 15 minutes, this is where we're at. Let me know what you're going to build. If you want to use the project launcher, you can go grab it. It's a one-time fee. You'll get, as I improve this, you'll never have to pay any other annual monthly fees or anything like that. Just that one-time fee. You'll have this forever. And if you want me to build this with you, you can check out the cohort. I'm always looking for people. $2,000, you'll be connected with me in perpetuity. I'll help you get started. And if you got a messy code base, I'll help you get it launched and get it in this method.